What's up, everybody? Welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. And thank you so much for waking up with TD and Phinsanity in the morning. You know what, Phinsanity? Come on, right here in front of the people. Is it TD in the morning or is it TD and Phinsanity in the morning? Let's see if we can get a committal, y'all.
Listen, TD. You know, as my brother, I always stand, beside you and will always support you. This is TD in the morning. I will be here every morning. TD, I don't like my name. Listen,
Lord.
and the thing about it is, it's like now that I'm getting more comfortable doing this, it's like Phinsanity. The name was created out of a necessity. You feel me? I feel like people are now like going through a year of it, are starting to see a lot more of who I personally am, a little bit more, I guess, of my spirit and energy and stuff where I'm not, so closed in. But at the end of the day, listen, this is TD FGQPMHS. Phinsanity is just a very big, strong supporter of TD FGQPMHS. So if TD's like, hey, Phinsanity, I need you to be up at 1 a.m. because we're going to do a crazy show at 1 a.m. I will be up at 1 a.m. to do that show, but this
All right, I need
know,
you up at 1 a.m. tonight. All right, in the morning, okay?
I don't know how many. What are we doing that for our West Coast brothers and sisters out there? Like,
I know, right?
It's like 11 there at 1 a.m., something like that. Off the top of my head,
Man.
like 11 p.m. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Hi, Vic.
Yes, what's up, everybody? What's going on? We love y'all. We love y'all. We love y'all. It is early in the morning. We start at 7 a.m. prompt here on TD FINSTALK. Wake up with TD in the morning. Miami Dolphins football. Episode 4, guys, and we're going to keep it riding. We're going to definitely keep it riding. I'm excited about it. I'm happy to see people getting up and early in the morning. They're getting at it. They're getting ready to start their day. We wish you all the best and a blessed day. We're almost done with the week, guys. We've gotten over the hump day. Now we're here, and it's Thursday, and this is the time, ladies and gentlemen, where you want to put even more energy into your day. I know that it's already been a long week for some people, but Thursday is that day you put even more energy in because you're almost at the finish line to be able to sit back Saturday and Sunday and relax. For some people, because some people do work on the weekend. But for those who are off on the weekend, let's make sure we finish strong. Those who aren't off on the weekend, let's still make sure that we're going strong, guys, because you know the beautiful thing? Everybody watching right now, that means you took a beautiful breath this morning when you opened your eyes, and we are all here and we are alive. We love y'all. Thank you to our Facebook family. Shout out to Corey Aslan, who's checking in on Facebook. Finn Strong said, good morning, TD and Phinsanity 5. Man, we love y'all, man. We love y'all. Anywho. Anywho. Exactly. Who said, Corey said it's 4 a.m. Here. Wow, you're on the West Coast, huh?
I'm on the West Coast.
Man, Corey is up bright and early. That's what's up, Corey. What's up, Anthony Mazzano? We see you, man.
Wait.
We see you.
You see David Smith's comment about me? Oh my gosh.
Phinsanity 5 is like a cute bunny, but with porcupine needles. Porcupine needles.
Right, that's the part. Like it's like how they have
okay.
backdoor comments. It's like, well, you're cute, but like,
yeah.
David Smith. I'm going to take it that you had that from great intentions. So thank you.
Yes.
I've never heard of that. Like,
that's
a very different hybrid of animal. Like, I don't know what I would think if I saw a bunny with porcupine needles. I would immediately think it's a porcupine, but I would think something's wrong with that.
Yeah, I don't see it, but that's all right.
7 p.m. for Jazza? Wow.
Jazza, where are you? That it's 7 p.m. right now. I'm curious, where are you? 7 p.m.? Where are you? I'm just curious.
He's not the guy from Australia, right? No.
Might be. No, Europe. No, I don't know. Let me stop guessing.
Australia, I was right.
Australia. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. See, I love that. Man, I love that. That's why I said, like, whenever we're in the middle of the day, Jazz, if you ever catch a stream in the middle of the day, here, no, if you ever catch a stream late at night here, like when we go live at night, hop on the live sometimes. Let us see you in Australia outside. Just the man, it's bright over there. Sometimes people got to see that in another part of the world, even though it's nighttime where we are, it is bright outside. It is bright outside. But anywho, guys, we got some stuff that we want to get to today. We want to talk about several things. We also want to hear from you all, see what's on your mind. But one of the things that is dominating the headlines right now, Phinsanity, have you recognized what's dominating the headlines right now?
Are you talking about out of Dolphins talk or in Dolphins talk?
And just football. What's going on out here, man?
I would say right now, from what I'm seeing, it's the whole Drew Brees situation.
Yes. And that was very interesting, man. A lot of people are jumping on Drew Brees right now for his comments. And if you aren't privy to Drew Brees' comments, he basically said that he could never. I hate to quote people. Yeah, he said, "I'll never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag. I'll never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag." And I actually wanted to say something about that because it's a big part of football. I mean, we've had our run in as Miami Dolphin fans as well with this issue where it brought a lot of attention to Miami with players like Kenny Stills during the national anthem and things of that nature. And when Drew Brees says never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag, TD actually agrees with him, but not in the sense of how he put it. Okay. I don't think anybody is cool with disrespecting the flag. It's just the general stance that believing that someone is actually disrespecting the flag. Right. And because they take a knee or whatever they may do during the national anthem, a lot of people, believe it or not, don't see it as disrespecting the flag. See, I'm a type of person that pays attention to intent. Mm-hmm. I'm the type of person that actually pays attention to intent. Now, if someone's intent was to go out to protest just to disrespect the flag, and they're like, I'm doing this to disrespect the flag, then that's an issue for me. But if they're doing it to bring awareness to a situation in this nation, and they have no intent to disrespect the flag, it's just a moment of bringing attention to something that we all should be aware of, I have no issue with it whatsoever. And Drew Brees went on to talk about, the men and women in the armed forces. It's almost disrespectful to them. You know what I sat back and I realized, ladies and gentlemen, there's this misperception for a lot of people who for some reason believe that the military represents. No, excuse me. Let me reverse that. The flag of the United States of America represents the military. That's not true. The flag is not associated just for the military. The flag is for everything that this nation stands for, period. If there's an injustice, the flag, it's under the flag. If there's hunger and devastation, tragedy going on, it's under the flag. It is not selective to only the military. And I don't know where that got lost in translation because we love our military brothers and sisters. I am in debt to every single service member in this nation who are here and who are no longer here, who continue to fight for our freedoms. But for some reason, there's this misperception that the only people that deserve the flag are military members. The flag is broad, is as broad as this nation is. Everything is under the flag. So if an injustice is happening, it is a representation of this flag. And I'm proud of our flag. And I'm proud of whenever we want to bring attention to situations that's going to bring us all together because it's going to make our nation united. And that makes the flag stronger. So that's my take on this whole situation. The sad thing is, I just think a lot of these issues are just a lot of misunderstandings, a lot of false perceptions. And last but not least, a lot of misinterpreting intent. The misinterpretation of intent. And that's me giving the benefit of the doubt because some people know the intention.
Wait, so are you saying that Drew Brees misinterpreted the intent for kneeling during the national anthem? Even though it wasn't, even though TD, come on now. I'm not going to let you off the hook like that. Cause I mean, this has been a topic of conversation for how many years now? And how many times have people come out and said, it's not about the military. It's not about respecting flag. It's about the social injustices. So to say that he misinterpreted the intent, I mean, there's a reason why Malcolm Jenkins and them like literally had an arbitration with the NFL, and they came to an understanding that the NFL would donate to social, to help improving social injustice. That's what this is all about. So to say that someone as educated, smart, and a leader of a franchise, the face of a franchise, had a misinterpretation of the events that were going around in the NFL, to say, because now you're talking about like that he was like naive. Like, no, I understand what he was trying to say. Now, if you're talking about the intent of what he was trying to say, then sure, we can go that. But if you're saying the intent about why people are initially kneeling during the national anthem, Drew Brees knows what's going on. I'm not going to sit here and act like, and give Drew Brees a pass. I respect his statements because no one in this world should disrespect the flag. But how many people have come out and said, even these people in military says, we don't see it as a sign of disrespect. Like, we prefer you kneel than sit, because that was the first controversy, that Cap was sitting. So they said he had a conversation, and he said Cap had a conversation with a military personnel, like a vet, and he said, kneel. He said, kneel. He said, if you want to still show respect, kneel. So for him to say kneeling is disrespectful, how many vets have come out in support of saying, hey, we don't see that as disrespectful? So for him to try to direct the narrative back to that, that's the problem we have in the NFL. They keep trying to direct that narrative to disrespect. And listen, I am all for patriotism. I love it. I have, family members who are still in the armed forces, and I love them to death, and I pray for them, and I pray for everybody in our military, because that is a big sacrifice. Pat Tillman, love you. You made one of the ultimate sacrifices. You feel me? But we can't let guys in leadership roles off the hook. Not at this point.
I agree. Let me ask you a question about Drew Brees, Phinsanity.
Yeah, no problem.
Do we revere him as a person who wouldn't support social injustice?
Listen, TD, I saw the man kneel with his teammates, but my thing is like this. What I see on TV, sometimes you got to realize what you see on TV isn't always, I don't know the heart of that man. Now, if you were to ask me, do I think, like if I had to take a wild guess, probably not. I don't think he's that type of cat or dude, but he had the opportunity. I mean, Tom Brady went out and did it. So, I mean, it's not like you got another 20 years behind you, Drew Brees. Like, even Sean Payton is talking about how this may be your last year, or you may have 2 good years left in you. So, I mean, you got paid, you got your money, you ain't got too much to lose. And guess what? You're actually in a town, in a city where just taking, I mean, he could have PR'd the mess out of this and just gave, a vague, statement saying, I'm all against, any type of brutality or anything inhumane. You feel me? That we as a country have to do better, yada, yada, yada. He has a PR team. And when you do any interview, you are given the questions. Agents seek these things. They want to know what their clients are going to have to talk about and all that. So this isn't a question that just spur of the moment the guy decided to ask Drew Brees. Drew Brees had a time to think of a thoughtful answer, whether he wanted to PR it, backdoor it, but to try to hide behind patriotism
Hide behind. So what is he hiding? Like what is he
Because
hiding?
because
What is he hiding?
because he didn't take a stance.
Mm.
And he tried to use the flag and this false narrative as an answer.
Okay.
He was not asked about, does he see it disrespectful? They asked him, I mean, you have to go back to the question, and they asked him, like, what's his response to everything that's going on right now in the country? And his response was, I won't stand for anyone disrespecting the flag. Well, who has disrespected the flag? That's to me, that's my answer. Is it the people out here who are, not standing for what America stands for the liberties and freedoms that are available, that are supposed to be available to all men? I mean, we can go to the preamble, our Constitution. There are so many things that are more, I would say, more American than the flag. Because the first line, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice. So if you want to, talk about it and really be about patriotism, don't hide behind a symbol. Go to the words that our founding fathers wrote. This is, I mean, it gets no more simple and plain. He tried to use patriotism as a backdoor outlet, and I'm for it. I love patriots. I love them. I don't like the team, but I love people who love this country.
So let me say that. Let me say this, Phinsanity. All right. I don't know how many people actually saw the full interview.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't a question about what do you think about what's going on right now. They literally asked him specifically, what does he think about players kneeling again when the NFL season starts? This wasn't that question to, do you see what's going on right now? What's your thoughts? And he should take a stand. It was specifically geared to kneeling. It wasn't a moment to take a direct stand on what is happening right now. But the reason why I preface what I'm about to say with that is context is everything. Yeah. I agree with everything that you just said. But one of the things that I found whenever we're having this conversation with a lot of people is a lot of assumptions are made. The first thing that we started out saying is he's intelligent enough. He should know better. And as soon as we start throwing those words out, we automatically judge. Because what I found in my life, just because I believe somebody should know better and they get the interpretation of what's going on, does not mean that they do. Now, that is a part of me that's giving him grace. That is a part of me that's giving him grace and also even the benefit of the doubt. Because a lot of times, because if you really look at what's happening to Drew Brees right now, he has no ally in this. It's almost like the whole world is jumping on him at once. So what if this man deep down inside really did not connect it the way that we're connecting it? And that's not to give him an excuse. It's just that we always make the assumption, and that demonizes a specific person because we believe that they should know. Now, he may know. And to me, if he does know, then that is terrible on his behalf, in my opinion, because that means he knows that this is not about disrespecting the flag, but trying to bring awareness to social injustice. And that is terrible because you're changing the narrative. And for me, the only way that I could see somebody changing the narrative in this situation is if they're a person who is actually encouraging the division. But whenever I look at Drew Brees, I'm also making an assumption that he really doesn't get it, because he has never been known to be the individual who is literally trying to change the narrative and sow division. So we're going to always make assumptions that what somebody should know and what they shouldn't know. But that doesn't mean that we're right. And it doesn't mean that we're wrong, because like I said, he very well could. But if we had the factual answer, then we would know who he is and what he actually stands for and what he's trying to do in this moment, whether that's really feel like it's a disrespect to the flag, or if he feels like I am going to sow division because I don't like us together and I don't care about that issue. So at the end of the day, that's really what it comes down to. Does Drew Brees feel like he's really trying to defend the flag, which he isn't aware of what we're trying to get across to him? Or is he literally trying to say, I want to sow division because I don't stand for what they stand for. I don't believe in their cause. And sometimes it comes down to as simple as that. Which one do we believe Drew Brees is trying to do with this? So that's what I ask people. When he makes these comments, what is Drew Brees the person? What do you think he's trying to do? Say, I don't care about your cause and I don't like your cause, so therefore I don't like anybody disrespecting the flag? Or does he really believe that I feel like that's a disrespect to the flag? Which one do you think it really is? We don't know, but that's the question you have to answer.
TD.
To me.
TD.
Mm-hmm.
That was really beautiful. But at the end of the day,
mm-hmm.
I remember just the narrative of the reason why they were kneeling for so long. Like you had to like beat it into people's head that this was not about disrespect. This was just about bringing awareness. Like we have no disrespectful intentions and all that. And I remember people calling out for, the, how can I put this? The white quarterbacks to take a stance, to show solidarity with their teammates. And at the end of the day, Drew Brees knows why players are kneeling. So for him to basically hijack it and take it back, 4 years to after these guys have literally changed the narrative, had to beat it into people's heads that this is not about disrespect. For him to go out there and to try to push that narrative again and correlate that with me, if he feels like that is disrespectful, he should have never done it. He should have never done it. I could have seen if he would have never took a kneel with his players. But the fact that you did it, I get it. You can change your opinion. You can grow and evolve and all that type of stuff. But where were these sentiments? I mean, maybe he talked to his family members and that's how they feel. But at the end of the day, I feel like hold up, TD.
You said something that was interesting.
I feel like the African American players did their due diligence. They asked. They did polls with vets. Do you think this is disrespectful? Because I'm pretty sure that's how so in tune they were with not trying to be disrespectful. If they would have gotten a majority saying, "Hey, this is disrespectful," they would have found another way. Cap was sitting. They said, "Oh, that's disrespectful." Cap found another way. If they would have said kneeling is disrespectful, Cap would have found another way. It was always about bringing awareness to social injustice. And the fact that he tried to hijack that and send it back 4 years after all the work that even one of his teammates on his team now did to get that narrative across that, hey, listen, we're not trying to be disrespectful. We're just trying to bring awareness to you guys. And we're trying to use our platform because you guys are watching us every week. And we're going to use our voice, and we're not going to be blind and mute to what's going on around the country. Yeah. To me, and I'm going to say this in all due respect to Drew Brees, that's weak, bro. That's weak. Because you know how hard it was to get that narrative changed. So for you to go back and kind of do that, all you had to say was, hey, listen, if you want to talk about being American, hey, listen, that's their right. That's their freedom. If that's what they feel like they need to do, then as a leader, organization, I support it, but I'm not going to partake of it because of personal feelings. PR the mess out of it. Yeah, Drew Brees. Listen, there's a picture out there where it shows him kneeling with his teammates. Yes. So he has not
during the national anthem.
During the national anthem.
So let me ask you this, Phinsanity. Are you for disrespecting the American flag?
No.
Absolutely. None of us are, right?
No.
So if me and you are on a picture and you're kneeling with me, all right, you're partaking in what some people think is disrespecting the American flag. Now, if you come out and you say out of your own mouth, I am never for disrespecting the American flag. Do you think that kneeling is disrespecting the American flag?
Do I think it? No, because
But so you did it before. You did it before.
Have I done it
No,
before?
no, I'm saying
in the scenario.
Yeah. You've done it before, just like Drew Brees have done it. Then you do an interview, and you just in general say, "I am not for anyone disrespecting the American flag." Should I sit there and automatically assume you were talking about kneeling when you do it yourself? Should I automatically assume that you're talking about kneeling just because you come out in an interview around this topic and say, I will never stand for anyone disrespecting the flag?
But he was asked about players kneeling, TD.
Yeah. But again,
he was asked about players kneeling.
So Phinsanity, once again, you've kneeled. Someone says, what do you think about players taking a knee again next year? And he says, I will never stand for anyone disrespecting the American flag. Now, when the article went on, he also talked about how he is all for, he actually said in the interview how he was for the social injustice and the causes and everything.
Right.
But he said in general, I'll never stand for anyone disrespecting the American flag. But at the same token, he's done it himself. That just means nothing. We just automatically, and I see how what you're saying, how it makes it look, but we're just automatically saying that he's contradicting himself. You did it, and now all of a sudden you're saying that taking the knee. See, what we're doing, we're equating the same two things. He never said if somebody takes a knee, they're disrespecting the American flag, and I'll never stand for that. He never said that. He just said, I'll never stand for anyone disrespecting the American flag. If he's done it himself, why do we automatically assume that's exactly what he's talking about? Because it's all assumption, because it's relevant at the time and it kind of makes sense. And that's what we feel like he's saying. But at the end of the day, it just doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense to me.
Cheating. I love the thoughtful conversation you're invoking. It is, I guess, because you said, how can we assume that? Because he was directly asked about kneeling. And
it's then assumption, though.
No, TD. He was directly asked about players kneeling next year, right? And he said, in his own words, that he is not for anyone disrespecting the flag. He put 2 and 2 together. We never did. He said that. Because my thing is like this: if he would go on to later say he doesn't support, social injustice, he could have put that there. Like, how you feel about people, kneeling about the flag, man? Listen, I will never stand for, social injustice and, all that. That could have been put there, but he waited. Once he was asked about kneeling, he correlated that with disrespecting the flag. He created that narrative. Now, granted, did he mince his words? We ain't gonna know until he issues an apology, which all players seem to do when they get into a pickle. And then we're gonna come back and say, well, yada, 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 yada. Because guess what? New Orleans Saints right now, PR team is busy this morning and all weekend. Believe it or not. They have to right this wrong for him. And basically, obviously, the man who's been doing interviews all his life, all his life, he knows he's smarter than that. I've seen LeBron James be asked about things and he just says it so blatantly. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Stand behind it. If you're asked about players kneeling and then you directly say something about that's disrespectful to the flag or anything remotely attached to that in kneeling, it is so irresponsible of him to do that. especially with how some players who are not in his privilege, in his echelon. Because granted, Drew Brees could come out and kneel all day. New Orleans Saints ain't going in cutting him. They ain't firing him. But there are certain players who did not have that luxury. So when someone asked me, did all African American players kneel? No, because at the end of the day, some of them were thinking, hey man, listen, if I do this, I'm not as safe as some of these other guys. And listen, like David Smith said, a person's reality is their perspective. And listen, if he correlates that now, like I said, for all I know, he could have a talk with one of his, because he went on this correlated to military after that. It's never been about disrespecting the military or the flag. And that's the narrative that I feel like he should not have pushed at that time when asked about kneeling. It was irresponsible of him. I get that he's not for social injustice and all that, but he's smarter than that.
Yeah, so I wanna commend you, Phinsanity, and let me tell you why. Okay, everybody watching right now, I just gave y'all a sneak peek in what the other platform will be doing. Every rebuttal I gave Phinsanity, it doesn't mean that I actually agree with the rebuttals that I gave, but this is how the conversation advances. You have to be able to look at it both ways and argue the other side of what they believe and in logic behind why they would do what they do, and find grace and try to give the benefit of the doubt and present it so that it can be articulated. The opposition can articulate their point to that in a great manner. And Phinsanity did a phenomenal job doing that. And but what it does is it brings one side, the logic of one side, it brings the logic of another side, and it brings all of the rebuttals that you're gonna hear out here in the world that people get so heated. And you know what? Usually when people have these conversations and they have two opposing views of it, it ends up being, well, we'll just agree to disagree or forget you, and it turns into fighting instead of clarifying questions. So if you notice, I just kept asking questions, and it brought passion out of Phinsanity. It brought, no, I don't want to hear that because of this and that. But I am always going to present both sides, because sometimes the way someone sees it in their eyes is totally different from the way another person sees it in their eyes. Because I agree, like in this situation, I agree like 90% of what Phinsanity said. It's just the only thing that holds me from the 100 is, at the end of the day, it's still all assumption. It's assumption of what the other person should know, what they should believe. It's all assumption. And that's why I actually agree with Phinsanity. It's just that my faith also kind of tells me, but at least have a little bit of reservation on the side, because at the end of the day, you can't judge.
TD.
But yeah,
So you know what? When you say assumption of what he should know, to me,
because I could tell you my true thoughts on it.
You can say the assumption of what he believes, but the assumption,
bingo.
But the assumption of what he should know, with this having been a hot topic, something that was covered by every major sports, even Good Morning America was covering it. Come on, TD.
But what he believes. But what he believes,
not what he knows, but what he believes.
Yeah, well, hold on. What he believes engineers what he knows, though. You see, there's a difference. There's a difference, though. What he believes, yes, that's kind of factual. What he believes,
that's a rabbit hole.
It's actually not. It's what he believes is what he manufactures in what he knows. That's the important thing, because if he believes one thing fundamentally, it negates everything that you're saying, because his belief is already because let me tell you what Drew Brees believes that's making him negate everything that you're saying.
Okay.
He believes that the military is the representation of the United States flag. That's what he believes. He believes that the military, the flag represents the military. What he's not putting together is that the flag represents the nation and everything under it, the issues, the hunger, the water crisis, the healthcare. The flag represents everything. But the disconnect for Drew Brees is he believes the flag represents the military. He thinks that trumps all. So if he believes that the flag represents the military, not all these issues and stuff, that's why he feels the way he feels. And that's where his disconnect is. His root cause disconnect is what he believes the flag represents. But if he knew, if someone can educate him on, Drew Brees, the flag isn't just the military, it's also us as the people. The flag represents the people. If he can actually ingrain that in himself, that the flag represents the people, then he'll know everything done with the flag is a representation of what the people are crying out for. That's where his disconnect is, just simply what the flag represents. For some reason, in his mind and many others' mind, it represents the military, which is false. But that's what he believes, and that's where his disconnect is. In my opinion, that's where it is. But again, what he believes manufactures what he knows to be true or false. It really does. It really does. And again, some people may not see it that way. And I'm not trying to be the end all, be and know it all. That's why I'm listening to all your point of views. But
Scapegoating it, TD.
Huh?
You're scapegoating it.
No, I'm not scapegoating it. At the end of the day, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. But at the same token, the reason why conversations never can excel to the next level to actually bring forth change in a lot of cases is because we automatically shut the person off because of what they believe. But it's what they believe, and we have to actually educate them so that they can interpret their beliefs more accurately. Because that's wrong. He's actually wrong to believe that the flag represents the military. To think that that's it. He's wrong to believe that. And you know, I would challenge you, Phinsanity, to like that rabbit hole you said, right? I would challenge you to, what if in your mind the flag only represented the military? What if in your mind, and I know, well, that's not the case, TD, but that's what you have to do sometimes so that we can progress, so that we can actually understand each other. Because at the end of the day, most of the issues we have facing our society and our nation is the fact that we don't understand each other.
TD.
So if you believe that the flag only represented the military, would it not be disrespectful to kneel? If it only represented the military, it didn't represent free speech. It didn't represent civil rights. It didn't represent none of those things. But if the flag only represented the military, it wasn't even a United States flag. It was a military flag. If it only represented that, would it be disrespectful to kneel?
Mm-hmm. We were talking about what he knows and what he believes, right? Well, I mean, I don't think you could find 5 people right now in America, 100 people in America right now, 1 person in America that does not know what's going on in this country.
Absolutely.
He was asked about players kneeling because of what's going on in America right now. Okay. And what I know is that he correlated that to being disrespectful. And at the end of the day,
why?
Hold up, wait. He correlated that with being disrespectful, even though many of people have come out, many of vets have come out. And if you want to talk about the military and all that, have come out and said that is the most respectful thing you can do. My thing is like this: people with kneeling is a sign of humility.
Yeah, I agree.
You feel me? So to kneel, you're humbling yourself before that flag, actually. So where is the disrespect? But my thing is like this: the narrative got hijacked by the media, and they correlated with that. And then Cap, blatantly with his words, said, this is not about disrespecting the military, the flag, anything. It's about bringing awareness to the social injustice. And hey, listen, y'all called me sitting. That was disrespectful. I talked to some guys. They said kneeling. So he's been privy to that information. So basically, either what you're saying is that he's blatantly turning a blind eye to all this information. Because my thing is like this: it's not like the information isn't accessible to him. It's not like this has not been talked about for months at a length, years at a length. Even owners have had an opinion on this, and some owners have had, backlash about their stance on it, and how they told players you are basically required to stand. Even the NFL had to come out with a rule, like if you want to kneel and you don't want to partake in it, just stay and where you come out. Like, you ain't got to come out here and stand. Just don't kneel on national TV. Like, they tried to find every single avenue to just negate this whole situation. They wanted no parts of it. They wanted no correlations. But listen, the NFL profited from it. I mean, granted, they made their dollars. But for you to tell me that someone who has been not only privy to this information, but actually a part of it, had a front row seat to it for years at a length, does not know why the various people were kneeling. Come on.
No, I'm not telling you that, but I am telling you I don't know, because watch this. I want you to play this game with me, Phinsanity, and I want everybody to pay attention. I want everybody to pay close attention. I am about to do something that's probably going to help a lot of people in this situation. And Phinsanity is going to play the game, okay? Phinsanity, why did Drew Brees do what he did? Watch this, y'all.
When? Which part?
Why did he say, I don't stand for anyone taking a knee? I mean, I don't stand for anyone disrespecting the American flag. Watch this, guys.
Why did he say that?
Yeah, why did he do it?
Man, listen, like I said, I can't speak to the heart of man. What I said was, because my thing's like this, I feel like my initial statement was, what he did was at that point to correlate disrespecting the flag to kneeling. Putting those two in the same conversation again.
Why would he do that?
Irresponsible.
Yeah, but see, here's the big issue. We only care about what someone did, and we don't care about why. It's just like Kaepernick. We only cared about, like, the people that were wrong about Kaepernick. They only cared about what he did instead of why. So let's do the same thing on the opposite side, because we fought for Kaepernick and we said all they care about is what he did. They don't care about why. So let's do the same thing on the opposite side.
Okay.
Why did Drew Brees do what he did?
TD, I have not a single clue.
So when we asked the quote unquote opposition, why did Kaepernick do what he did though? And they look at you and they say, I have no clue.
TD, Kaepernick blatantly said why he did what he did. Until Drew Brees comes out and says why he made a statement like that, we won't know. For all we know, it could have been a blunder. He could have had a brain fart. Maybe he mixed up his answers or something like that. We won't know. All I know was that the New Orleans Saints are going to PR the mess out of it. But at the end of the day, he said what he said. He brought back this conversation and this narrative that we've been trying to negate for all these years. Now, granted, if you want to talk about disrespect the flag, I saw one of the most disrespectful things to the flag this weekend amidst all the protests. I saw a group of people burning the American flag. Never in my wildest dreams would I stand for that. I would be the person who would snatch that out that person's hand and take it out. Now, that's disrespectful to the flag, but it's the fact that the players, he's had a front row to this. The players coming out and saying, hey, listen, this is not about disrespect. This is not about the military. Cap has said he supports them blatantly. It's about bringing awareness. And the fact that he said something like this with what's going on in the nation right now, it was irresponsible. I'm not trying to condemn the man. I'm not trying to say, oh my gosh, Drew Brees, like, you're the most opportunity in the world. I'm just saying what he said at that time was irresponsible. Because You took a narrative that people took so hard to fight. Like, it was crazy how much backlash people were getting for kneeling when vets, like, I can't reiterate this point. I like, you want to stand behind the military and all that. I'm for you, Drew Brees. I love our armed forces. Every single branch is essential to the safety of this country, both domestic and abroad. We are we're the bee's knees in that area. We spend so much money in military defense that it's correlated with us. American gets in war, whoever side they on, you nine times out of 10 is going to win. We're just that strong military wise, right? But for the fact that the narrative has been out there that the military personnel and vets don't find it disrespectful, I don't want to say how dare you, how could you be so irresponsible to try to push that narrative again? That's all I'm saying, TD. I can't
agree.
Speak to the man's heart. I can't speak to the man's intention. All I can do is speak to the facts, and for him to have this information accessible. If I know this information, I'm pretty sure he's known this information. I'm pretty sure the league has sent out memos and all this stuff. And granted, for all we know, someone could have wrote this answer for him and he thought it was okay. And he said, I don't know what's going on with that situation. But at the end of the day, as a person who has an opinion about it, I've never said anything personal about it. I tried to keep it factual based.
Yeah.
And my true sentiment about it was that just for him to do that and to have a guy like Malcolm Jenkins on his team, he could have called Malcolm Jenkins and been like, hey, such and such, ask me a question about kneeling. What do you think? And I mean, it's not the first time.
He's like, I don't think he's going to do that because he's just going to, they're going to look at it as they're grown man. He's just going to state his opinion. But let me get something straight for everybody watching. Cloud Life is right. No one is fighting at all. Okay. Just because there's a little disagreement doesn't mean anyone's fighting at all, because that again, guys, this is what the other platform is going to be about. Opening up the conversation. And TD is going to look like a really bad person in the new platform, not because I agree with anything that I'm kicking back on, but I'm opening up the conversation. I am pushing back on the things that Phinsanity says to open up the conversation. I am trying to put myself in the other person's shoes, and even if I don't believe the way they see it, I'm trying to act like I do to open up the conversation so that we can hear both sides, because sometimes there's revelation in that. Sometimes there's, I never thought of it that way in that. Because I think Cloud Life also said it's all perspective. But once people understand what perspective means, it can go a long way. It could go a very long way. This is opening up dialogue. So people are going to think that I believe what I'm arguing. That doesn't mean I believe what I'm arguing, but it's bringing a lot of conversation out, right?
It's a healthy conversation.
Yes, it's bringing it out because we have to get all the facts out so people can see them, because that's a part of the problem why we never could move forward. Because the scariest thing for me in this whole situation that's happening out here in these streets right now is like Phinsanity said, what Kaepernick did, it made everybody know what's going on, right? Mm-hmm. It made everybody know what's going on. But for some reason, a lot of people are screaming to the top of their lungs right now saying, now everybody has to know what's going on. They already knew what was going on.
TD.
They already knew what was going on. Now, what's the next step? What's the next step to actually bring change? And we get to that, you know? That's what we want to move towards.
TD.
Yeah, Phinsanity.
Can you please put Rafael Luciano's comment up, please?
Rafael Luciano.
This is what this is why we have healthy conversation. Okay. Insanity is like a lot of people that expressing yourself as being a racist. I'm going to think you saying being a racist, and that needs to stop. TD. Me and you just had a conversation for about 49 minutes, 30 plus seconds, correct?
Yes.
Did I once ever call Drew Brees a racist?
Never.
Did I call anyone a racist?
Never. And you know what? I'm glad you caught that comment, because these are those moments that have to be cleared up. These are those moments that have to be cleared up, because again, it's perspective. See, someone believes that you did, and we're not going to ignore comments like that and keep it moving, because I'm also say Raphael is not a bad person. I'm going to say that, right? Raphael's not a bad person just because he said that about Phinsanity, but he misinterpreted her intent and what she's coming across. That's why I kept asking Phinsanity, why did Drew Brees do it? Because the end result of her answer, if we really went down that why hole, is either he's maybe a racist, or either he's choosing to ignore it, or he really doesn't understand. But we have to get down to the root cause. But the beautiful thing about Phinsanity, she never said it. There are people in this comment section that does believe that, probably, and that's their belief. But that's why I love this conversation, because she's not gonna go. She said it 50 times. I don't know the man's intent. I don't know his heart. I can't judge that. She said it 50 times. So, and this is where the media likes to construe things. They'll take what Phinsanity is saying and they'll go out there to incite those who disagree with her and say, oh, she's just that type of person that believes if they don't believe what she believes, they're racist. No, we're having a conversation. But I will tell you this, Raphael, this is why that other platform is coming, because you'll be able to come on the screen, as long as you can do it as an adult and in a respectful way, to articulate, keyword, articulate why you feel the way you feel and why you believe what you believe. That's what this other platform is going to be about. We're not just going to sit up here on the camera and bash everything that you have to say in the comment section. It's going to be an open platform. Come on. If you feel that way, now if you put comments like you did, we're going to come and we're going to give the facts on it, so no one has the wrong perception about what we're trying to get accomplished on here. But then you will have the platform to be able to come on. You'll have the platform to be able to come on and articulate what you're saying, because me and Phinsanity, we don't know. If you came on here, you might be able to articulate why you felt that way, and Phinsanity might say, oh, I could see why you felt that way, but that's not the case. And then she clarifies that. See, that's the conversation we want to have. Not the conversation where it's, oh, you're just mean. You think I'm calling people racist. No, we're not arguing. We never argue. We haven't argued with each other. We haven't argued with any of you all. We got to have the conversations, and we got to do it as adults, to where we can respect each other's opinion, even if we totally disagree, but we want to be able to articulate our different stances in a mature manner. David Smith, the media is using hand-picked stories to create division. Last year, according to WSJ, 9 unarmed black men were killed and 19 unarmed whites by police. All incidents are bad. That's a good see. Oh my gosh, man, y'all bringing them out now when these are the other platform topics. These are amazing. These are amazing topics, right? Did you want to comment on that, Phinsanity, before I did, or you want me to go?
Sorry, I was just reading up Raphael's
Don't worry about it.
follow-up statement. Let me address Raphael directly real quick while I have time. Raphael, I don't take other people's statements out of context. I listed facts behind everything I said. So to say that I took it out of context, I mean, he said what he said. That's all I can say. And at the end of the day, even in doing that, all I said was his comments were irresponsible and counterproductive to all the work that his fellow teammates and players had with trying to change the narrative. That's all, Raphael. I mean, listen, congrats to you. You got your 3 minutes of notoriety, but I would love to have a open discussion with you about this instead of you just keep attaching my name to these
assumptions.
I don't even know. I mean, it's
Let's
deeper.
use
It's
that.
deeper. It's deeper than
Let's use that word.
assumptions.
But let's use that
It's
word.
it's different. It's deeper than assumptions. But I would urge you one day to just, when it's open, we can revisit this at any time. It's an open invitation. Insanity Monday will be back on Monday. So kudos to you. You get your moment, but don't assume anything about me because you don't know my upbringing. You don't know how I feel. I try to keep this as non-emotional as possible, but it's okay. The media is using hand-picked stories to create division. Last year, according to the WSJ, 9 unarmed blacks were killed and 19 unarmed whites by police. All incidents are bad. What would you like for me to talk about that on, TD?
Well, let me start on it because I want to hit it. First off, I want everybody to pay attention to the last sentence.
Mm-hmm.
The last sentence says all incidents are bad. So I am going to take what David Smith just wrote as a statement instead of a question. And I agree with your statement, David Smith. And if anybody doesn't agree, that I mean, here's where I do judge. That's terrible. That's terrible. All incidents are bad. All incidents are bad. Now, I want to get to what I believe this statement was really where this statement really came from. I think that this statement, and you correct me if I'm wrong, acknowledge me if I'm right, David Smith. I think this statement was written because maybe David feels like, we're thinking that it's bad for African Americans, but it happens to white people too. So what's the big deal almost? And maybe I'm wrong for saying what's the big deal. But that's where, when I read stuff like this, that's kind of how I feel, right? African Americans make up, and we got to go look at the statistics, about 13 to 14% of this nation. And there are 9 African Americans killed by unarmed African Americans killed, right? Caucasian individuals make up over 60% of the nation, and 19 unarmed are killed. When you look at the statistics and you look at the ratios, it's not even close. See, this is what I call a true fact and a true lie and a false fact. Because what he's saying is correct, but the context behind it, when you look at the real numbers, it's not even close. So when you look at the ratios, it is much more unproportionate. It is much more unproportionate than African Americans in our nation. Now, also with this comment, I would like to say this, because someone put a comment following up on this in the comment section that said, if this happened to a Caucasian individual, would we protest like this? Do you all want us to? Because it's bad either way. And we all stand for that. Is this an issue in your community? Because it's an issue in ours. Because if you look at the numbers, it's an issue in our community. The ratio versus the population, it is off the charts compared to Caucasians. So we want y'all to join us in this fight to stop that from happening. Now, if you think that this is a pandemic or a issue in the Caucasian community as well, and if we don't see that, please make sure that you bring awareness to us. And if we're not listening to your message that this is an issue and we're ignoring you as an African American, I'm sorry for ignoring you all. Maybe what it's going to take is something drastic, like taking a knee, so that we can be aware of the struggle in the Caucasian community with unarmed individuals being murdered. Murdered. So if that's the case, I'm with your fight. I'm not going to abandon ours, but I'm with your fight. Let's all go fight together. Because if this is happening, if it's happening, period, I'm with you. But if it's something that's actually happening and you all believe that there are individuals in the police forces and things like that are intentionally trying to, how do I put this? Take Caucasians out, like just take them out, then please do whatever you can to make us aware of this, because I wouldn't stand for that. So if getting your point across crosses the line some of the time, cross it with pride. And I feel like at this point, everybody realizes that's what Kaepernick did. If getting your point across crosses the line some of the time, then cross it with pride. And it ain't even crossing the line in a lot of people's opinion. But I'll put it like that to be fair to how you feel about it. So that's my response to it, David. And I thank you for the statement, because that brings, hopefully how I articulated that brings clarity to a lot of people. So yes, please include me on the fight with you all to stop that in the Caucasian community, especially if it's something that's happening at an unprecedented rate, then we're not aware of it. I'm down for it. Hit me up an email and how I can help. Hit me up. Hit me up. Now, I don't have your email, but I would also like for you to hit me up on how you can help us too, because we need it. And statistics say a whole lot more. A whole lot more. It's scary how much more we need it. But we all won. We all won, man. Let's do it together.
Oh, kind of said it better, bro. Kind of said it better than you. Hey, you ready to change the narrative a little bit? Thank you guys for sticking with us for that. I mean, at the end of the day, we're always going to use our voice no matter what platform we're on. And that's whether you're on here or you're just in your everyday life. Speak up when you see a wrong, no matter who it's being done to. A wrong is a wrong, you know? All right, TD. So
all right. So we handled the first thing that's going on in news. It's the top story. We didn't come on saying, oh, we want to bring this up to tell people blah blah blah. What's going on? What's the biggest thing in sports news right now? And right now is the Drew Brees thing. So we hit it. Right. But this is what you're going to get on the other platform, guys. So if you like these conversations, which it looks like a lot of people do in the comment section, stay tuned. Hopefully early next week, I'll be giving y'all the information for that platform, and we can go over there and talking about that every day. I think we're going to enjoy it. And thank you, Phinsanity, man. I appreciate your perspective on all this, because I think it opened a lot of eyes. I think it really did.
Right is right. Wrong is wrong. And I mean, at the end of the day, that's what you have to see it as. I'm for humanity. Let's put that out there. All right, TD, you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about Tua not being a coach's pick.
Oh, man. Listen, full disclosure, TD did not write this article. TD did not come up with this narrative.
I'm a hater anyway.
I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys saw this yesterday. It said that Tua. Let me bring it back. I wish I had my water. I need water. You have coffee. I need water. Bring it back, Desmond.
I'm out now.
Okay. Tua Tagovailoa was an ownership pick by the Miami Dolphins. How do you feel about that? And we're not talking about if he should start and none of that. We're going to talk about the simple fact right now that he was an ownership pick and not a Greer and Flores pick. So I don't want people to, get all upset. Go ahead, TD.
They're going to get upset with me anyway. Watch. I want you tomorrow to go back to the comment section of this video, and everybody's going to say, TD, man, I mean, we get it. You're too a hater. Can you just stop? Oh, man. See, there it go right there. Call said, TD, stop drinking the haterade on Tua. All right. So anyway. News is news, okay? So it came out that a lot of people not a lot of people, but it came out that through a reliable source that Tua Tagovailoa was not a Greer pick nor a Flores pick. It was an ownership pick. And actually, Tua wasn't even the ownership pick, but they had to go ahead and grab a quarterback for ownership. Basically, the article stated that Ross wanted his quarterback, and everybody knows who that is. That was Joe Burrow. And they couldn't get Joe Burrow because Greer even confirmed the fact that they made their offer to Cincinnati. They tried to move up and go get him, but you know what? They couldn't get it done. And, they were fine with taking Tua. they were fine with taking Tua. So he's our quarterback now. I'm not even going to make this a negative thing like, oh, he wasn't even the guy we wanted. I'm not going to do that. But
listen, some people felt like Tua was the target the whole time.
Well, you know what? Those same individuals will say, oh, that's just articles of somebody saying this and that, blah, blah, blah. Greer made it clear. We made an offer to go up and get Joe Burrow. Greer said it out his own mouth. That's who we went to go get. So I don't care. All that Tua is the target. He was the target. Always will be the target. That was false. Greer out his own mouth in the interview, post-draft, they asked him the question. There's a lot of rumors about, moving up for Joe Burrow. First of all, is that true? They said it. That was the question. First of all, is that true? And then if it was true at number 5, what made you take Tua over Herbert? That was the question. Greer's answer was, yeah. We tried. We tried to move up. We gave a package that we offered, and we basically couldn't get it done. So we're fine with Tua. We thought that he was the guy over Herbert. We thought that he was the guy. Good morning. Mm-hmm. Okay, mommy's gonna make it. Okay. It's 8. She up anyway. So he said, "Daddy, want to eat?"
Aww.
Man, we were up all last night too. But Greer already told everybody, yes, we made a package to go up and get Burrow. We tried to get Burrow, but it didn't happen. And we were fine. We were happy with taking Tua over Herbert. Both guys are talented, but we were happy about the selection of Tua over Herbert. There's no other way to slice that. There was no other way to slice that. Joe Burrow was the target. Tua Tagovailoa was the consolation. And not a bad consolation, ladies and gentlemen. You're still going to call me a hater, but it wasn't a bad consolation. It wasn't at all. The kid is immensely talented. He's an amazing football player. I'm telling you, his ball placement, let me tell you what rings out to me about Tua. Mechanics. Like when I watch his film, I love his mechanics. The only issue for me are the few interceptions that he has. Oh, but there's so few, TD. But it shows something that he's so mechanical that he's actually not processing. People think that he's a great processor. When I watch film, I push back on that a little. Now, he probably can process the defense, but in real time, he's not processing. He's using his mechanics. Like when people say, he looked right and he looked the safety off, came back and threw it. He looked right because his mechanics said to do so. But he's not looking right and processing and then making a decision. There's a difference. So in a lot of cases, the mechanic of looking over might get the job done. But against a great defense, you got to use the mechanic and see if the person actually falls for that mechanic and make a decision. And his interceptions, which I posted the link the other day, a gentleman broke it down 2 months ago. I actually found that video 2 days ago after I had the conversation about this. I was shocked that somebody else actually did the film work on what I've been telling y'all for so many months. I've been telling y'all this for so many months, and I was shocked that 2 days ago, I found a 13-minute video explaining exactly what I've been telling everybody. Explaining exactly what I've been telling everybody. So go check that out on my community tab because I leave the link on the community tab. Watch that video because we don't want those situations to get this kid in trouble in the NFL. Mm-hmm. We want him to have a success. And that's what I don't understand, Phinsanity. I want the kid to be successful, but in order to do that, we got to make sure we identify his flaws and get to appreciate his growth. Get to appreciate how he fixed those flaws. Yeah. We're allowed to criticize Josh Rosen from day one, but it's a sin to do that with Tua Tagovailoa. Why is that the case? Why is that the case? Maybe you can make some sense of it for me, Phinsanity.
Listen, first, I guess I'll answer my own question. How do I feel about Tua being an ownership pick? Fair. I think it's fair. And in this sense, because I really I like Stephen Ross. A lot of people don't like Stephen Ross, but I do. But Stephen Ross, during free agency, opened up his checkbook. He gave us, to what we all believe, a competitive defense, right? Whatever Flores and them wanted to do for the most part, and Greer wanted to do, let's not forget about Greer. He said, okay, cool. In return, all he wanted was his franchise quarterback. And why does he want his franchise quarterback? A lot of you guys hit it on the nose. Marketing, 1. 2, jersey sales. And he needs some of that revenue back that he has put, into this organization. He actually needs a player on the field who's going to be the face of his organization, right? Who's going to be, about the brand and all that. And right now we correlate that to Flores, 1, and to the player, Tua, and he hasn't even played a snap, on the field yet. But we're all saying, oh, Tua's the face of the franchise. He's a franchise quarterback and all that. So to me, it's fair. Stephen Ross did his due diligence in free agency. What do you guys need to make this team competitive? What checks do I need to write to make this team, the best and most effective week in and week out? Oh, you want a defense? Okay, what defensive players do you want? How much do we have to pay this player to get here? Whatever it takes, go ahead, do it. But come draft time, I need a quarterback first. And I mean, we could talk about them because we all know, how Ross came out and he said he loved Burr and all that. We can talk about that. But at the end of the day, it just came down to that. No matter what we offered to Cincinnati, I guess, I'm pretty sure, I guess you probably would have had to offer every single pick in this draft 9 times out of 10 and next year draft for even Cincinnati to blink from what it seems like. Because I think we offered them very, 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 very fair, deals for that number 1 pick. Great compensation on their part to where it wouldn't be a loss for them. But I guess the feeling of them moving back to 5 and the team possibly moving up to take another quarterback, it is what it is. Had Joe Burrow come out and said, hey, listen, I don't want to play for Cincinnati, it kind of would have handicapped him. But since he didn't, and he was, admirable about the situation, so to speak, he did the right thing as a young guy. He didn't want the controversy going into it. Kudos to him. Love it. But I think from a fan point of view, it's fair. Stephen Ross has done a lot for this organization, not only with the stadium, but the work that he does in the community, the work that he, demands his players to do in the community and all that. So I'm glad he finally, I guess, hopefully got his guy. A lot of people said, Tua has to get on the field to see what he's really going to do. So, but Lodge League MVP turn up.
I had to put it in there.
So I just think it's fair. Now, what would you say after that, TD? What was the question you asked me personally?
About the whole, we criticize Rosenflaws, but it's a sin to do that with Tua. It's considered hate.
Listen, we are prisoners of the mediocre quarterback play that we've seen in the last few years. You had Cutler, you had Brock Osweiler. Jesus. Those two, having to go through those 2 seasons alone, I wouldn't wish that on any fan base. I really wouldn't. And we had to tough out those seasons. I'm not going to nitpick on Tannehill because, that's to me is a moot point. But I think it's because the fans, they're so ready for success at the quarterback play that they've seen so much from Tua that it's like, don't touch him. Don't shake the man's confidence. Don't talk bad about him. Don't scuff him up. Nothing. Because we've had so much horrible quarterback play that we saw a guy who looked competent and looked good doing it, that automatically that's the product we want. And we're hoping and we're expecting him to translate that immediately.
Hope.
Yes, hoping. Because none of us could say for sure, 100% without a doubt. I mean, some people will bet on it. I mean, those people that's that's a form of faith.
I can't wait to speak about that.
But
I can't wait to speak about that. Hope.
They're hoping, and I have hope that whoever is behind center this year, because we have a team. You have a team now, yes, that they will be more than competent. Like, I'm tired of just watching our quarterbacks be, middle tier, middle of the pack. It's about time we get someone who, on each Sunday, we'd be like, oh, who are we playing? Oh, yeah. Talk to other fans. Well, we got Tua Tagovailoa. I mean, he's really that dude. He's really that kid. Like, I want us to have that boldness about our quarterback, so to say. But the boldness about our quarterback comes from knowing that he has a team behind him. Not because I think he can do it all by himself. I mean, Russell Wilson has been doing it all by himself, right? We like to go to Russell Wilson. Amazing quarterback. Been doing it by himself. Hasn't seen a Super Bowl. When he had a team around him, Super Bowls. So you can have, a guy like Russell Wilson who can carry your team. But I say finish the narrative. Since he hasn't had a team around him, he's had winning seasons. They've gone to the playoffs. That's great. But the level of success that he had early with going to Super Bowls and knowing that Seattle was that team coming out of the NFC, you're right. Mm-hmm. That's every year some people still believe that Seattle can do it, right? Because they have Russell Wilson, but the likelihood of them doing it is kind of like who has the more put together team. And that's one of the things that, the Patriots always had. They always had a well put together team, a well ran team. So, but I want to be able to have the confidence that the Miami Dolphins and the hope that we as a team will be great every Sunday, and that whether it's Tua or Rosen, for those out there who are still advocating for Rosen, that will just be competitive, right?
Man, but okay, all right.
So like how I walked around that.
Yeah, exactly. No, well, you didn't, but you did a little bit at the end. But listen, here's what aggravates me, Phinsanity. It aggravates me so much. That's why I wrote, hope without action is luck. I mean, it isn't luck. It becomes luck if it works. Mm-hmm. If it works, it becomes luck. When you really, like, I'm reading the comment section, I see, I hope Tua tears up the league. I hope.
Oh, Damian D said this bigger than hope. He said he's praying. Shout out to Damian.
Yeah. What did he say? He
said it's bigger than hope. I'm praying. We finally got a quarterback.
But watch this. We got hope. We got praying. Nobody's talking about action. This is why all these big name first round picks become busts. Because everybody's hoping he's going to be the next Joe Montana. Everybody's praying he's going to be the next Marino. Nobody wants to look at their game, pick out the flaws, and say, man, this needs to get better so he can become the next Joe Montana. I pray that this needs to improve so he could be the next Marino. Everybody want to hope and pray. Like football is this crapshoot for people, oh, we got this guy, he's going to be the next this and that, and then he's a bust. Not saying that's going to happen to Tua. But look at the statistics. There is a reason but TD, nobody's been off the charts in college like him. We hear a story about that every year in the draft. Yeah, but this one here. Next year, we're going to be like, yeah, but Trevor, if you look at what he's done in college, nobody's quite like that. Every year, we're going to hear that, y'all.
And TD.
So let's start playing football. Let's start looking at the game. You're supposed to nitpick a player Because every little flaw they have, you want to see them improve so that you can have one of the best of all times. And they should be doing that themselves. We talk about Josh Rosen has always been a half second too slow. He throws it a half second too late. Imagine if no coach has ever told him that. Now, we know that they have. Mm-hmm. But imagine we're just fans of his and don't talk about that. In the coaches feel the same way. He's fine. Just let him play his game. Imagine that. So imagine Tua having a flaw and we don't care about it. Just, but he's so great in other things. But that flaw continuing to come back and haunt us year after year after year after year. Lamar Jackson. In 2 playoff games, he's lost. There's one area on the stat sheet that he sucks in. And it's been what many people call his flaw all the time. Throwing that ball. Yeah, but he threw it well on us. But in the biggest game, in the biggest moment, that's what you want to prepare your player for. And he could put up 300 rushing yards in a playoff game. He left with a loss because he ain't throwing the ball. He's not becoming that throwing threat. Tennessee stacked the box on him. The year before, I don't know if it was the Chiefs or the Patriots. I forgot who played them, but they stacked the box on him. That's take away his strength.
Are you talking about the Chargers?
Yeah, they ran 7. Yeah,
Chargers first year, and then he lost.
They ran 7 DBs. The Chargers ran 7 DBs. They put speed on the field and they loaded the box. They ran 7 DBs. They said, let's stop his strength and make him beat us with his weakness, and he couldn't do it. So this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to nitpick every player on your team so that you can identify what they know. Yeah, but that's minor. All right, let's make him better and fix the minors.
T-Day. You know what it is? And it's something that a lot of people just naturally aren't receptive to. And it's something that you as a person have to work on being receptive to. It's essentially constructive criticism.
Bingo.
You're telling someone, hey, you're doing a stand-up job in all these areas, but hey, I need you to get better in here. Because why? That's going to only make you a better person. And it's like, it goes back to, having yes men all the time. Yes men will get you in a lot of trouble. Oh, yeah, just keep doing it the way you're doing it, man. Yeah, there's no problem with that. But as soon as it hits the fan, them yes men are nowhere to be found. Why do you guys tell me, about this? Well, man, listen, it was working at the time. I didn't see anything wrong with it. But you saw where I needed help at, but you weren't there. Like, you supposed to have my back. You supposed to have my best interest at heart. Yep. TD essentially has Tua's best interest at heart.
Yes.
Because he wants him. I'm starting to lose my voice. I need water. Jesus. He wants him to be the best possible quarterback and to reach his maximum potential and go above his ceiling. If you would really ask TD, because you know how passionate TD is about this team. Why wouldn't any of us, if we are truly fans of this team, want the best product, especially at the quarterback position?
Exactly.
So what TD is asking you guys to do is if you're the type of person to criticize, because I don't think any of you guys have offered constructive criticism to Rosen. You just criticize the man and you say all the bad things about him. TD tries to constructively criticize and say, hey, man, listen, he needs to get better at this and all this. None of you guys ever say, oh, Rosen needs to get better at this. You just say, oh, he can't do this. And it goes back to Tannehill, right? Everyone said Tannehill can't throw that deep ball. Well, guess what? Tannehill worked on it and became competent at it.
We saw the growth.
It took years and years, but it took the media consistently, I guess, criticizing, saying, hey, Tannehill, you might want to get better at deep, throws, because we got a guy like Kenny Stills on the team that we can't utilize, and you're kind of handicapping us because what's the name? And TD, I'm pretty sure, was saying the exact same thing. We just didn't get to see that era of TD. So no matter who, I guess we all feel like it's going to be Tua, but no matter who is our quarterback, don't give them any slack just because they're our quarterback.
And he's the guy you wanted.
if you would demand the best from the daily people in your life, right? I'm pretty sure you push your friends, your spouses, your family members to be the best version of themselves and to pursue their dreams and all that type of stuff. Have that same energy with not just Tua, but every single person in the field. I mean, people say TD criticizes X. TD just says the man ain't available. And he says, oh, he's over aggressive.
That's it. That's all, and that's all I continue to say. And then you see the comment, Phinsanity? TD, we can only go off what we know, and all we know is Tua's a winner. That's not true, Reggie. Tua being a winner is not all we know. We also know that he has a few flaws. So when we say all we know is he's a winner, well, in the biggest games of his career, has he really been a winner? The biggest games, one game, like people hold their hat on one game he came and quote unquote saved Jalen Hurts. What about the other biggest games? What about the other ones? Was he a winner versus Clemson? Was he a winner versus LSU this year? So all we know is that he's a winner?
Listen, we can go back to that Duke game and how they couldn't get that offense started. Because they were trying to pass it and they could not, it just wasn't clicking. Get a ball to Najee Harris. Offense starts going. I think like this. Tua, and I do not criticize him for being on a greatly talented team. He earned that right. He played well enough in high school to be recruited to one of the top programs in the nation. Can't criticize him for that. He then went out and won the starting job. Can't criticize that man. He did what he was supposed to do to win that position, right? Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, there has been times where the Bama's passing game with all the weapons that it had was not working.
No toys. It's school time.
Was not working. Okay. And then they start handing the ball off and cue Najee Harris. And that's why I was a big advocate for if he came out this year, go out and get that kid. Yeah, he didn't get all the snaps and reps that he should have got this year. But that man Najee Harris is something special. And I can't wait to we're gonna have to now go back because I don't believe in Mac Jones personally. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna have to go back to a running offense. But that shows, people use that argument, that shows Tua's greatness in a sense, his college greatness, that he really changed the whole offense of one of the best ran machines in college football history because it was about running defense. Mm-hmm. And Tua came in and said, hey, listen, I have the ability, to carry this, great, team on my shoulders. And Tua, since he has won a lot of games, but I go back and I say this, look at Bama's strength of schedule. You rarely see them playing. I mean, you rarely see them playing a lot of Power 5 teams if you really look at it. Most of the ones that they face are, if top 25, are normally within the conference. If you really look at it, 9 times out of 10, if they're playing a top 25 team, and we know those are the most competitive, as we say, 9 times out of 10, they're in the SEC. And that's the only time where they really, quote unquote, really see that smoke, so to say. And it shows that we're less prepared against big games. And that's why we always falter. Look how Georgia is always ready for us. Look how Auburn always ready for us. LSU always ready for us for the most part. And it's because those are the teams who will play other top 25 teams and don't shy away from it. But Bama, for some odd reason, I'm gonna call it like I see it.
Yeah. And when someone says but he led them to those big games. So that's just like Lamar Jackson. He leads them to the playoffs every year, and his weakness is what the other team exposes. Just like Lamar leads his team every year. Now, if that's what y'all want, a Lamar Jackson to lead us, and here's my main point.
Well, you can't.
I'm gonna stop and say, here's my main point though. If we're 9-7 and Tua's the starter, and we need that one more game to get into the playoffs, if that weakness shows in that one game, I can't live with that, y'all. I can't live with that. The safety baits him. He just looked me off, but I already know that's his game. He's a mechanical guy. My scouting tells me he's full of mechanics. So if he looks right real fast, don't bite on that. Actually start moving towards the opposite direction, because he's going to let it ride. And he's going to throw that ball. Bam, got him underneath, picked. And you literally see his interceptions. LSU baited him into the interception he threw. They baited him into it. He looked right, came back through it. The safety never budged. As soon as he looked right, the safety went the other way. They baited him into that because they know that's what scouting does. When you're playing the best teams, when you're in the playoffs, that's what they're going to do to Tua. What are his tendencies? He's not really looking at the safety. He's just looking that way to hope that his mechanics moves the guy off of the spot. And he don't know if it moves him off, but he's using the mechanic and then coming back the other way. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. Don't let that mechanic get you that look off. Like Tua will stare down the guy he wants, and right before he throw it, he'll go, then throw it.
TD.
And that's pretty evident. And then I look at all his completions and his touchdowns, Phinsanity. He does the same thing, and the safety bites. But against the great teams, they don't bite. They don't bite. He throws the ball, it's broken up. His receiver had a chance, but it was broken up or it's picked off. Those things matter to me. I want this kid to be flawless for us.
But I don't think you can compare him to Lamar. So
he's better than Lamar, huh? Because he could throw the ball.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying they're two different types of players.
And I agree. It does take a team, guys. It's not just one guy. But one guy can hurt you. And Patrick Mahomes, I really do believe, and that's why it's a team. Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, I really do believe that they bailed this man out. Because those 2 interceptions, and did he fumble?
Who?
Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
Oh, man, I don't remember. I have to go back.
But those 2 interceptions could have been devastating. Damian Williams came and bailed him out. Oh, man, I was going to read this, but it's 8:32. And as you can see, the house is getting a little live right now. TD in the morning is from 7 to 8:30 a.m. So we gave y'all a little extra bonus time. Man, this was a good one, Phinsanity. Oh, gosh, here she go with the heat hat. Yes, NBA is about to crank up, I believe. Hopefully they voted today. They might be playing in Disney World. But this was a good one, Phinsanity. I really love this stream because I'm looking at it right now like, man, I wish I can go for another hour and a half.
Reggie Jordan, that is what's up. Hold up. Sorry. I just had to acknowledge Reggie Jordan. He says he's on Amazon. As we speak, ordering a webcam just for your new platform. Thank you, Reggie.
That's what's up, man. What's up.
Let's go Heat. Listen, guys, the call is at 12:30 for the Board of Governors for them to vote on it. It's already been reported that it's going to pass and that July 31st would be the start. So we'll be able to get back into some more sports talk on the other platform. But TD, this was great. This was fun. Oh my God.
I love this, man. I loved conversations like this. The football conversation we had, the Drew Brees conversation we had, because so much was allowed to be discussed. And I think there was some clarity on both sides of the spectrum in that regard. And it's beautiful to me. It's beautiful to me. Now, unfortunately, in the first part of the video, I had like 6 dislikes, like mad faces, but that's all right, you know. And the only thing that I do get sad about Phinsanity, some people they may be turned off. Like, think about how I started the stream, right? They may be turned off because it seemed like I was just trying to defend something that wasn't right. When they never stuck around long enough possibly to see that I'm just making sure that I play both sides so that the conversation can continue. Because the one thing that I hate is when the conversation ends and both sides are like, whatever, man, I just don't want to hear what the other person has to say. How could we ever change the world or move forward if we have that mentality? And that's why I do what I do, to open the conversation up. Trust me, TD, I believe I am the most neutral person you will ever meet in your life. So I just ask for your ear. I asked for your ear. And this was great, man. I was so happy from even the words that Phinsanity said. I was happy the way that you articulated everything that you articulated too, because when I pushed back, a lot of me was guessing like, oh, I wonder if she's gonna, say it this way or say it that way. And it was just beautiful hearing the words coming out of your mouth in the way that they were being articulated, man. It just made me real happy. I just put it like that. I don't even know how to say it. I don't know how to say it.
I stand for the things that I stand for, and I'm always open for a discussion. Like sometimes, sorry, because we're way over. But sometimes people, talk about me just sitting back when we're having panels and stuff. And it's because sometimes I like to listen to hear. I don't just, listen just to reply to everything that people say. Because I feel like everyone has a voice and opinion and all that, whether it be sports or, pop culture topics or, social issues. Just say social issues in general, right? So at the end of the day, thank you for giving me a platform to express how I feel. To everyone out there, have a blessed and wonderful Thursday.
Yes, y'all be blessed today. We're gonna come back at y'all later. We thank y'all tonight. I'm gonna check in with Dwayne, see if he's situated on the move. I'm not sure if it's fully done or not, but if it is, we should have Thursday night details with Dwayne Wood. And man, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. And thank you for waking up with TD and Phinsanity. I'll see y'all soon.
You tried it.
Hey, we're going to at least finish the week out, Phinsanity. I'll see you in the morning, right? At a minimum. Hey, now finish strong with me. Finish strong.
I told you I'm going to be here every morning, but don't.
Hey, but Phinsanity be on it, though. I wake up, I look at my phone, and I see that good morning. Oh, man, she up. She got up before me.
6 o'clock every day.
I know. I'll see y'all later, man. We out, y'all. Peace.